Hello, Twitch. Would like to play a video game? Do our sound check. Sound has been checked. There appears to be sound. That's as good as it gets, really. Check a couple things really quick. Yeah, that's better. Alright. Cool. Let's play a video game. Which inputs to HDMI 2? Is it whines and complains at me because there's nothing attached to it? There we go. Now we play video game. We were in Adolescent Plumbing, which is a bouncy castle level. Not sure what my plan there was, but it didn't work. Alright. I swear that dude revived. He revived like instantly. Oh. Okay, so I just gotta get used to the bouncing. Just wait for this to line up. It lined up well enough. Oh my. That's going to be a challenging thing. I already feel my fingers not being happy with me. I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play something that's nice and easy on him. Not sure what. What's up, Pestinator? How you doing? Was lurking a bit when you were trying to beat Kamek. I think I got to see, got to read how that ended up, unfortunately. Kamek kind of sucks. Not very good. That is unfortunate. Do I still have hack gems to play through? I kind of wanted to finish this one. How you doing, Max? But this would be like the last hack jam specific stream. I'm basically done with them after this, unless I want to go back and play whatchamacallit, the fixed up version of Search for Sauce. That wasn't what I wanted to do at all. Do I get to vote? Yeah, I need to write up stuff for it. I've got most of them done at this point, but I've got a few more to go. So I'll be curious to see how it goes. Which one is the most beloved? Because I'm certain the answer is not going to surprise me for some values thereof. It's just going to be cycles. Let's see. So if I low jump, I have a little more latitude versus high jump. To think about this a lot. No, that's not the way. You quit Invictus? Well, don't quit it forever, but I wouldn't blame you for at least going and deciding to try something different for your time. Like, that boss seems like a horrific grind. Just because all of the phases are different. Like, there's no amount of learning from prior ones that help you. It's not like the Pooh World 2 Bowser, where, like, the things you learn in each phase are still useful for the next one. I think even Juz kind of said he was disappointed with how Kamek turned out. Like, he had a way different idea of what he wanted it to be versus how it sort of got implemented. And I kind of totally dig that. Yeah, it's insanely hard. Like, it's just a huge departure in both style and form from the other half of Invictus. So, I try to give recommendations, but dang, I have not played any modern Kaizo recently. So I'd say if you want like a standard challenge, you should try this hack, or Mario for Lost Players, which which are both hack jam things. And they both are pretty dang awesome. The Lost Players is certainly a little harder to get into just because it uses Mario 1-esque physics. I want to do this without getting hurt. How am I going to do this without getting hurt? I'm not even going to make the platform. Oh, man. Dang it. Sounds great. Might give it a shot. Yeah, it's really... Both of these are really good. Like, this one's hard, very chocolatey. But ultimately, like, it's not, like, that difficult. And Lost Players is just weird. Very cool. Last time I was playing it, I got to one of the final levels, and it was a homage to a game I really love. Mario survives death. Oh, I forgot to turn that on. God. Wondering why that doesn't work. To make that bot better. What? Oh, right. By 3. I just need to move this bot over to a different machine and like, set it up with a cron job. How you doing, Mixter? Doesn't Winter DLC level design contest start today? Maybe. I'm gonna be honest, I've been out of the loop on that one. Got the new Pokemon game hours before release. That's awesome. I've heard, like, that it's really cool. But I've managed so far to stay completely blind to it. Not out of any, like, sense of... No, that wasn't it. Like, just trying to avoid spoilers or anything, just I haven't paid any attention. I think I need to go a bit further back. I think it's dead. It's dead. Work week is done. Also nice. And it's different. So it's not simply, you know, go on a Pokemon adventure. It's actually something different. That's kind of cool. But don't get me wrong, I like my Pokemon sending, you know, 8-year-olds off to see the world, steal bicycles, and stop crime syndicates. But I don't know what to do there. It is probably good that Nintendo is experimenting with new formats. Dang it. You think my chat hacks experience would help me here, but nope. In case it's not obvious, the gimmick of this level is I'm bouncing continuously. At the beginning area, but you're having a lot of fun so far. Nice. That's always a good sign. In the words of Milhouse, all I've done is enter my name. Thrill-ho! He was already having a lot of fun. Okay, so I can't do that safe. Leap back, oh no. I'm okay without having leap back on right now. I'm used to bounce. I'm not used to bounce really with opposing options, but... Anyway. Still got more stuff to do. I was working a little bit on my Zelda module just for the hell of it the other day. I was like, I've got this table open. I really should do something with the table I haven't had open for like a week. Maybe more. I fixed up that table. Didn't test it yet. I need to test it to see if it actually works. Don't know what to do there still. And I finally implemented rat stacks. It was not that hard once I just sat down and did it. It's not a complicated system. Yeah, I guess I can kind of see why they did the things they did. There's gotta be a way to line that up, right? Oh, that's much easier. Just ride him. Yeah, I see. There we go. Step in the right direction. What am I up against? plants now. Saws. Okay. Oh boy. The one thing I'm worried about with the Zelda thing is I think that the script commands are slightly different in the Japanese version. Or at least the table I was looking at seems to indicate that the new line separator is now a piece of hiragana. So I've got to figure out where I can find the script commands that I've been using. And how they're different in a different Zelda. I think I need to go like when it's all the way on the right. Okay, mistakes were made, but I'm making progress. Like, I see what I need to do here. Nope. I see what I need to do here, but I still can't execute consistently. Yeah, pretty much all I've been doing is writing, judging docs, and doing work this week. Nothing terribly exciting. Yep. Well, I think I can do that. I know better than that. This track's a banger. Good remix. Let's see. Maybe waited one more cycle. This level is going to kill me. Think about holding down the buttons. I always feel I need to hold them down way too hard when I'm playing this way. In fact, I think if I walk over here really quick, first cycle actually works. So I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Nope. Not that. I really think I need to just ease off on holding B the whole time so I can take advantage of smaller jumps. To cycle quicker. And pay attention to what I'm doing. Let it do that. Run out the clock. I thought that's how that was implemented. Alright. Pop. I find it interesting that the, Right, I was going to try first cycling that this time. I did not successfully do that. I hope this part isn't all that long. Not sure of the gimmicks I've seen so far that I really enjoy this one. Having been subjected to it before. Kinda close to what I wanted. Perhaps I made a mistake in wanting to finish this. At least it gives you power-ups. Like a power-up per stage. Gotten lucky at producing weird noises a couple times. Something to be said for that. Oh, that's how you do that. Maybe. That's how you don't do that. Certainly. It's really... I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Axe. Huh. I can in fact duck. That's kind of cool. Not useful, but kind of cool. Oh, what if it's a layer 3 background? Because looking at it, it doesn't extend very high into the level. Oh, for... I can't even hit that thing half the time, and then I get double hits on it. Whatever. Okay. You have to, like, completely neutral, so you don't press up or down there. You don't want to grab the fence. Not grabbing the fence is the challenge. Wait for it. Was watching the bird, not the Mario. What kind of game is the new Pokemon anyway? So it's like, I think it's like loosely based on Breath of the Wild or something. Alright, well that's not ideal. First time I failed that in a while. But again, I haven't taken a look yet. In fact, I bought Sword or Shield and haven't actually finished it. I played it much beyond the first area. I think I got distracted by the giant Pokemon area. And then never really made any progress after that. I had like a flight after. Though I have access to all of the starter Pokemon because me and Squiggles did that. It took a non-trivial amount of time. Nope. First cycle, not a good cycle for me there. I think about playing like the original Pokemon again. That could be fun, but I haven't figured out what I want to do with that yet. Been high on my list of like projects to think about, though not necessarily work on, since the SD to SNES got Super Game Boy capabilities. Let's be honest, Pokemon is like one of the coolest games, you know, one of the funnest games at least, for the original Game Boy. Dang it. That's what this is just going to be. It's going to be cycles on cycles on cycles. It's going to be like 3 interlocking blue rings and have to go through later. That almost worked. No, yeah, the spawn was a little bit different. So I think if I do anything with Pokemon, I might need to bust out my Virolog skills and see if I can fix something up for the Super Game Boy. There's a feature I see that can be totally implemented that is not implemented yet, and that would be cool. It must be nice just to get out and do some Virolog again, since I haven't done any of that in a long time. It's been years. It's a very different programming paradigm compared to, you know, everything else. Because after all, you are implementing what is effectively a series of logic gates attached to a clock. And some very nice block rams. Or RAM IPU RAM. I don't know why I'm doing that. Block rams are so much more convenient than having to build a RAM controller, though. Subsequently, SRAM was a lot more convenient than DRAM, but... I'm not actually sure, like, can you run DRAM to, like, higher speeds? Is that the reason why that they ended up, like, going with that? Or was it really cheaper? As a, like, concept, it existed for quite some time, yeah? The original Nintendo has some DRAM in it. Not much. Pretty much only accessible by the PPU for various reasons. That worked. That did not. I still haven't gotten over here big yet. Just remember that our Verilog boards, our FPGA boards had both SRAM and DRAM in them, and most people never bothered with the DRAM just because of the pain in the ass to write your own controller for. You have to constantly be refreshing the memory, which basically means you need to read every cell every, like, 30 microseconds or something. Quite literally, it's memory that forgets if it's not reminded. Which is weird. I cannot get up there. Fix that. Sink into the muck. At least the track's a banger. So I've seen 4 obstacles, I suppose. The way this seems to work, from what I remember, is you go through some number of obstacles, and then you get a midway. I'm not quite sure what the exact number was. Again, this hack is not an easy hack. Still want to try that first cycle approach. Never have managed to pull it off. I keep thinking I can do that. I now know I can't. It's not going to change the fact that I think I can. Yeah, first cycle approach works. As long as I remember to do it. Really hoping I travel a little bit more left. Okay, if I can do first cycle approach there, then that's going to help a lot. In terms of just giving me consistency. Still better than waiting. Oh, what's up, a dead fly? How you doing? Working on Mario World for Sickos, which is a really interesting chocolatey hack. As you can tell by the fact that I am constantly bouncing. First cycle would have worked there. Yes. God, I hate not being able to control my jumps. One of those things. I've had some experience with it. The chat hacks, and I know I don't like it. The worst thing about this particular type of ASM, you can't enter a door. You're slow. I have literally spent minutes, like, trying to jam my way into a door. You have to be on the ground for, like, 2 frames in order for it to work. If you're only on the ground for 1 frame, it doesn't work. Which means I really hope there aren't any doors in this hack. Or at least the sum of this hack. Gotta figure that part out. Cycles and cycles and cycles. I just need to let go of B more often. It's gonna be a level just open and entering multiple doors. Entire hack based off the premise of the Monty Hall problem. We'll show you what's behind the door you chose. Nope, too late. And then, wait. You won't show you what's behind the door you chose, but we'll show you what's behind all of the other ones that are wrong. Decide whether or not you want to switch doors. Very educational, slightly confusing, but full of combinatorics. Which is exactly what everyone wants from a given hack. Now each level here has like a ASM gimmick, or a sprite gimmick or something. You know, I just realized I screwed myself by kicking him off the level there. And this one is just this bouncing ASM, which, as far as I know, I haven't... I guess, no, I've seen it in, something similar to it in Jump Half. There's a level where you just bounce. But you only bounce with normal jumps as opposed to this switching between things, which is a bit more problematic. Okay. That works. I don't like the way these spawned. I absolutely love the way those spawned. Okay. Oh, I see what I have to do here. No! It was a timed thing, I waited too long. Alright, well that's a new record. Definitely a PB right there. I will take that. I learned a thing or two. Still not learning that lesson correctly, but, you know. Progress is progress. Points is points. Okay. I could have made it first sight. Nope. That also works on the Descent, okay. And that's a game I haven't thought about in a while. Descent. The demo I thought was pretty cool back in the day. Never actually got to play the real game, I don't think. Oh, for Pete's sake. That worked? Hmm. I made it. Hoo-hoo! Please tell me I have more than one shot at that. Cool. I don't like what I'm seeing. Want to ride the saw. That's the plan. Ride the saw. Alright, I'm getting here. See what I need to do. I just have to execute. Consistently. And not do that. What's that? Well, it's one of those things. As long as I'm learning something on my way through each section, as opposed to just sitting here and failing, I'm fine with that. Like, there's only so much you can do. Still worried like layer 2 is going to be a big thing in this level later. Just looking at that background makes me think it's going to be some sort of mashing stuff happening later. Or, maybe not mashing, but like, something weird. One day I'll get through that. Too late. I need to do a lot more short hops. short hops. Practice for next time. That's what we'll call that. What do I do after hack jams? Probably get back to doing some moderating. Final Fantasy VII, I think I've got most of the stuff prepared that I wanted prepared for that. So if I'm not going to try to do the challenge thing, I might take another little bit of time and see what I can do with, see if I can get my Python thing to attach to the Final Fantasy VII process. Could be kind of a fun lark. Not a huge agenda, aside from the Knuckles thing, which I'm hoping will happen. Squiggles may have had a bit of COVID exposure, and depending upon how he feels about that, may not want to come over and do that on Saturday, which would be highly disappointing, but understandable. That worked. I need to remember that I can do first cycle stuff here. But no. Of course, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm not highly bound to anything yet. Though I did claim a Bandicoot hack for moderating in the event that I finish this early today, which I don't think I will. Then again, maybe this section after this is not terribly long. You never know. Getting that false jump. Maybe that's how I handle that. But yeah, getting that done is high priority. Probably should try and get a chat hack somewhere in there. Again, I had plans to do an announcement thing yesterday, or well, really Wednesday, and then I forgot. And Squiggles' thing kind of put a kibosh on that to some extent. But I've made it to the right. I'm not sure. Need to remember the low bounce. Oh, just general, like, here's sort of the plan. Here's when the End Knuckles thing is going to happen, because I know a lot of people wanted to know about that. Some of them may or may not have come by stream and asked that question when it was pertinent. Basically just, I'm going to do a ping thing. Nothing too terribly exciting. I'm just going to look at my schedule, figure out the next reasonable chat hack date, that sort of thing. More procedural than anything else. Oh, shoot. Getting hit there early really sucks, because I don't have a good strat for that section yet. To be fair, it's arguable I don't have a good strat for this section either. There we go, that second's actually easier than I thought. Huh. Yeet. Oh. That works. It wasn't the plan, but it works. You definitely want to ride the saw. I got a feeling that's the end of this section. But just a feeling. No real knowledge. I kind of wonder what the twist is going to be for the second half here. Because in this hack, there's often been a twist in the second half of the level. And I got rid of one. Man, I love the despawning rules sometimes. Okay. Watching saws. Okay, that almost worked. And just the enemies start jumping and spin jumping on me. It's a hamburger that eats people! That's... Though honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Enemies jumping between two states could easily be a reasonable thematic place to go after this. They've been pretty good about it, though. Like, nothing too onerous in the second half, usually. At least not that I recall. Still kind of want to see if they're that key thing. Oh, that would have been so cool I'd have pulled it off. That message box in the key level actually has anything in it. Since you can't hit it in the level without beating the level first and then backtracking through the level. Which is kind of insane when you think about it. Hey, not dead. And have a hit. Not that being big here is terribly useful. Next one. Okay. Take a minute. Suddenly, I see the problem. Don't even care. Alright. Hey look! Layer 2 shenanigans! Boy, did I call that. Oh, but this is actually pretty cool. I see my problem now. I was so worried about Layer 2, I didn't stop to think about the fish that were in my face. What? Oh, that's a brilliant little troll, ain't it? Alright, that was cool. This I did. Again, it teaches you everything you need to know because you have to wait on these first two things. Okay. Gonna wait a cycle. Because I know the troll's coming. Gonna wait another cycle. I like this second half a lot more than the first half so far. Like, the Layer 2 shenanigans are definitely fun. Forcing you to wait in the gauntlet. Yep. That was a waste. Oh, this is just me guessing. Oh no! It's a guessing game, but no, it's not. It's much worse than that. Okay. Fast resetting once. I get it. first time. It's not my first goat rodeo. The timing. No, I get this. I like this. This is something of value to me. I don't know if there's going to be a boss. I don't think this hack has really gone in on bosses, from what I recall. It's the third bounce, fourth bounce. It is actually. It's actually legitimately good. How you doing, Blue Ribbon? Like, this... I've played a lot of Bouncy Mario because of chat hacks, but this is very different, having levels that are actually really designed around the concept of forced jumps. I almost made it. Ah. Jump regardless by control jump height, yes. So I can do small jumps and big jumps and, you know, re-grabs and whatnot. But that's about it, and I'm constantly being forced to switch between the two types of jump. On the bright side, though, I can occasionally make it glitch out a little bit. Sorry, I had to count there. My strat requires counting there. Ah, crap. I'm just gonna wait on it. Okay, now we go fast. Oh, I hate this. Dang it. Come together. Come together. Not an easy section. But yeah, that's kind of how it is. I can only think of one other level like this, and it's in jump half, I think. Crap! Oh, that worked. Stupid wall clip. I feel like the timing there was a little bit closer than I would have liked. What? Oh, I guess the pointy bits aren't as pointy as I thought. Wait for it. Dang it. Still jamming. There's not that much more to this hack. I think that this is like the 9th, this would be the 10th exit out of like 12 or 13, so. But the thing is, there's a very big difference between a hack that has 13 exits. Oh, come on, I thought I had that. Of each being challenging length and all that. And a hack that has like 12 or like 40 relatively easy ones. Dang. The first few things down. And I have a second strat on that one. It still involves counting. I don't know why that part's causing so much consternation. Ah, crap, I'm dead. Feels like akin to a Kaizo level for sure. Yeah. It's not quite Kaizo, like, I think there was an argument that it could be, but it's not really. I will say regrabs help, but they're not like required. You could do this without them. Then again, it'd still be a lot more challenging. Just gonna wait. Just chill out. Like, one nice thing at least is if I don't land on the ground, then I don't get hosed. Nuts. Going early there didn't help. Like, that section feels very well timed if you do it right. I'm not certain I'm doing it right. Like, the first couple times I did it, felt like the timing map made sense. Then I get hit for a stupid reason. Not that it matters. I don't think my failure here... Oh, it was just like sub-pixels away. Is completely dependent upon having access to that firefly in beginning. Mushrooms convenient, not required is all I'm saying. Okay. I think after the next death it's a drink break. Short drink break. One. Oop. Having way too much fun making it make the wrong noise there. Oh, come on. Stupid small Mario and his inability to hit boxes. The box above his head. You're another cycle, I can tell. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. That seemed a bit close, but I'm not unhappy with it. I think I'm hosed. Or maybe the opposite of hosed. Whatever the opposite of hosed is. Ah, dried. There's actually a lot of parts in here where I could just like take my drink and it wouldn't actually matter because I'm relatively safe. Like, once I get to the next room, I don't actually need to move anywhere. You know, post fish. 2, 3, 5. Like, I'm perfectly safe right here. Okay. This time I won't get hit. At least not hit there. Yeah, that didn't work. I get the feeling that this hack really wants you to do a specific alignment for layer 2 in that section, and I'm just not doing it right. Regardless of jump state, always jump on 5. And always go there. Oh! Looks like I just go to you. Yeah, I think it actually is resetting when I go through the pipe. So, I think I was just reading too much into it, and I'm not spending the right amount of time on the ground before jumping on the platform. think I need 2 hops worth of time. 5. Damn. Well, I don't know that was the final spot. It did feel like it could be a final spot, but I don't know it's the final spot. Either way, I'm like getting there relative with some level of consistency. Oh, those things are actually solid song. Right. Of course they are. Ah. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if there was like an end of... I guess this one hasn't really delved too much into end of level trolls. Though most Hack Jam things haven't really had those, at least the standard side of things. Though, for Lost Players, if you haven't seen that one yet, that has a few end-of-level trolls that were pretty damn good, actually. There's one that, like, legitimately just made me crack up for, like, a minute. It was just that good. Very much a plays with expectation sort of thing. Oh, so close. Then again... I don't think it matters too much. See, like I said, may not be the end. Oh boy, I get to do this more than once. Oh god. Oh god. Second half, much longer than the first half, with much less margin for error. Christ. See, it's one of those things where people use crushers, you know they're going to use the whole set of crushers, including the really, really fast ones at the end. Just something people like to do. Might have been a little bit late there. Alright. Waiting for cycle. Yeah. A little bit rude, I think. But I'll live. Frankly speaking, I would have had a hard time doing that part without this mechanic. 2, 3, 4, 5. Mario drifts back to the left. Well, may as well use that in Valentine. That. Okay. Some levels definitely take me longer than others. I think this will probably end up being the lengthiest level so far. Took a lot longer than I'd hoped on that mole level. One of the, I wouldn't say inconvenient things, but it does force me to address, you know, how long it took me to do something, and I get to see all of the timestamps in the YouTube video for every level, telling me exactly how long I took. guess I'm getting better at that part. Wall clip. At least it didn't screw me. Okay. Wait. Oh, I thought he was going to be one of the ones that falls off. That would have been a troll. Boom boom. Oh, I guess there is a boss. Oh, this is intriguing. Oh my. I'm gonna hug this wall and hope he doesn't really want to have much to do with me. People getting a lot of mileage out of this Boom Boom ASM. My goodness, is that an awful noise. No, I'm not missing out on a third bounce there. Orbed! Yeah, that was a thing. Damageless, yes indeed. Thank you for the GG. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. Combustion Calamity. It's an airship. And there's Hammer Brothers. Oh god. This track's a banger, though. Ah, it's these. If I was going to hide a secret... Oh. I didn't trust it. Again, this hack is amazing in terms of how it instantly teaches you the things you need to know. Like, it's so effective. And, oh, those don't have very long at all. At quickly teaching you the important things. So, just as a point to consider. So I'm going to take a short hand break now that I think about it after that level. And drink break. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I need to learn that timing a lot better, really quick. That's a very narrow margin. Like, not surprising, but... My guess is when it's being diminished, it's not as hurty. That's when a cycle I can handle. I've played Invictus at least a little bit. I know the trick. What am I doing with this shell? This could kill him with it. Yeah, this looks like the thing to do. Not that it was required, I just felt like doing it. No. This is just gonna be counting. Lots and lots of counting. Huge K clock. Nintendesi is Flava Flav. Oh man. Just trying to imagine him with like a ridiculous clock around his neck. Maybe he's got like Freddie Mercury on it, I don't know. Oh, okay, well we learned a lesson there. You just don't try to do that. Wait. That works. Learned it. I know it's a truly great plan, I guess. No, but it'd be awesome. Oh, come on. No, you know what bugs me about these flames? Even in Mario 3, there were little, like, fringes of brighter flame on the edge. So, like, you got this feeling that the flame was actually, like, really hot. Whereas just the solid red doesn't do it for me. I guess there's some orange in there, but still. It's not the same. The setup for that still. Oh, come on. Pay for it. I am more of a threat to myself than the fire brother is. 1, 2, 3. Imagine it without the sound. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Everything in this definitely benefits from having the noise at least. Though again, the timer on that is so tight. A lesson I am continuously learning. Go for it. Tends to work a lot better than I expect. I think being big is going to change how I want to do this part. Alright. Oh boy. Okay, so I gotta get into the first one carefully, maybe first two, and then wait on the last one. Maybe faster than that. Gotta say, I do not care for the color of those clouds. That's not a normal sky, that's a Game Boy sky. Feeling for that one, the intent was to require you to jump twice, but if you just hold up, it works. Ow! My scrolling trick. Three bounces! Alright, cool, I'm big. Okay. Damn. Okay. Knew it. I have to do that multiple times. I wasn't even looking at what I was doing. I was just like, oh yeah, I need to hit this thing. Didn't even realize it was one of those. Oh man. Yeah, my strat of going instantly does not work there. Okay. Here, go back one. strat. Oh, looks scary, but it's not scary. For the window. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This part, damageless, I still don't quite get. Maybe that. So then I can do the next two. Not fast enough. You get in there. Okay. What's over here? Hard to tell. Dang it. I definitely always want to head to the right afterwards. It gives me a little bit of slack. I don't know how long this next section, like the rest of this level, is. What the twist is going to be. Because there's always a twist. We got fire, we got these platforms, we have the occasional fire bro. Then about it. Brilliant. There's a lot of ways I could have done that better. So I should turn this down just a little bit. Important things I fixed today. I had apparently broken Discord's Twitch integration a while back. I finally figured out what was wrong and said, the integration is broken, you need to log in again. Like, wish I'd done that like a month ago. Took me that long to notice, which definitely goes to say something. But again, I don't look at my own like Discord status when I'm streaming that often, so maybe it is a reasonable thing to not have noticed. I have no notion. I know how to do that first try. I don't know how to do it any other way. This one, I don't know how to do at all. No, just gotta be quick. Wish I had my brick. I think I'm timing that off of sound, but I'm still not quite sure. This would be a nice place for the level to end. Or get a midway. I can live with that. From now on, Fire Bros cannot be spin jumped and need 5 fireballs to be defeated only 2 chances. What does that mean? Oh, only 2 chances. I understand. What if there's a way to soft lock yourself in any of these rooms? Then again, I guess if you don't successfully kill the fire bro, by sort of definition, do I get more fireballs? I get a lot more fireballs. That is a ridiculous number of fireballs. You know what this means? It means I'm going to use them. Well, oh, insta-death. It's interesting that these rooms are separate, pipe-separated rooms. Because that doesn't feel necessary for this? Oh crap. My brilliant plan has failed. Guess maybe they wanted to make these more independent. Fireball's got that Puma effect. How you doing, Fries? Oh, that was through the wall. So much for my plan there. So much for my plan there, too. Puma effect. Is in the cat? Is in the shoes? Not quite sure what that means. But I do love it when they give you, like, infinite fireballs. That was 4. It feels so unnecessary, but so good. Dang it. Well, at least we can see the next room. Puma, I should have seen that coming. I'm gonna guess that yellow thing takes away your fire flower power. I really shouldn't fall for that anymore. I should see it coming and direct it somewhere else. Perhaps more impressive is the fact that you seem to have an unending number of those jokes. Ow. It was on the last one too. Ah, I'm dead. Double whammy. No, I wonder if it has to do with they wanted to use like a specific Uber ASM for this. No, that still doesn't make sense to me. I am bad at timing that. Ugh. I haven't played too many other hacks that give you access to so many dang fireballs all at once. Almost. Oh, for... Others collect Pokemon. You collect nuts. Fair enough. As long as you don't hang them on your wall as a trophy or something. Not a good idea. There we go, that's the 5. I don't think I'm doing this part right, but I also don't care. Cool. Like I said, I don't think I'm doing this part right. Like, the challenge there should have been jumping up and down and moving around there, but no, it wasn't. I just threw a lot of fireballs at it. I'm curious about the moon, but I'm also terrified that those blocks will kill me. I'm gonna be really annoyed if those blocks outright kill me. Imagine having paintings of these nuts on your wall. I'm just kind of like thinking it'd be really funny if someone did like a Banksy style thing and managed to get a collection of paintings by these nuts entered into like some serious auction. There was, for instance, a while back, oh, I get it. It doesn't take away your power-up. That's how you get the moon. I just have to be able to do this room right. Well, either way, I'm going to die in the next section at some point. But there was a troll I saw where this guy managed to enter his, like, furry pornography, and I thought, no, this is the end. I need the moon. I have to get the moon. That was too easy not to get the moon. He entered them in this like charity auction thing, and it was presented on the Public Access channel, and they were all like rats taking baths, and it progressively got worse and worse. They kept showing more of the art. Like the first one, you could see, okay, I could see someone putting this on their wall, Like, it's kind of, like, not my thing, but, you know, I could see someone doing that. Someone who really likes rats, I guess. I don't know. And it just got worse and worse. Like, it became clearly just ridiculous. Lunatic, indeed. Well, on the other hand, he might have raised some money for charity. You know, all's well that ends well, sort of thing. Oh, lunatic getting the moon, yes. Ah! Well, I just have to do 2 rooms safely. The last room is pretty easy because I can just spam fireballs on the flat plane. It's no different than this room in my mind. If I can get through this room, the following room, and the room after that, I got this. I can just do that in one shot. I want that moon. The completionist in me demands it. Let's get that 5th one in. There we go. That was barely connecting there. Okay. Crap. No. I love how you can be so safe by just going right back into the little box room. If I could just get one more ball out. Ow. So I have to rush in there. I don't have the option to, like, drop my inputs. Are you kidding me? It looks like it hits the ball. It does not hit the ball. It hits the Mario. This kills the Mario. Guess we'll do this room legit for once. As practice for the smaller room. See, that's what I have to do in this room. That's all I have to do in this room, is spam those out so quick. In this room, all I have to do is not stand on a dang fireball. One quick second. Handbrake. Okay, cool. And maybe one day I'll take a picture of the art I have on my wall. One of my father's originals. It's a very surreal collage. What a good draftsman back in the day. Well. Nope. This one I don't know if I can do it. I mean, I could always cheat, but I don't want to cheat. This isn't SA 1, so cheating is very easy. So satisfying. Maybe I hold B there? Maybe not. Like, I'm trying to think of what I can do to up my chances. Because basically I just need to get on the ground there. Off by 1. Sniped. It's so strange to me they change color. Oh, they got a pulse red. I get it now. I keep walking onto it. What do I do there? What do I do there? Instead of walking onto the fireball. Rah! That was terrible. That was really terrible. Still wonder why the loading rooms. It's maybe to punish you when you screw up. Make it take a little bit longer just to annoy you. I do appreciate that every room has a giant pit in it, so you can die quickly. Like, that's really the key to the whole thing. Dying. Except this room doesn't have it. I guess actually most of the rooms don't have it. It's only 2 out of 4. Just running at the hammer bro, fire bro kills you instantly. Not the consistent strat. Go for something fast. Okay. I think dropping down there would have worked. Short drink break while I think about this. Okay. Put that there. We got the second one out. I almost wish there was like an LR reset, but it's so unnecessary when you really think about it. Okay. Oh no. I can't stop and try to read things. I got distracted by a tooltip of all things. Just embarrassing. Okay. There's 3. That was 4. My mistake. Like, I can do that section. Not for well, but I can do it. That was better. Wasn't better. I feel like I'm getting there. Though I remain uncertain that I actually am. Are you kidding me? That wasn't 5? I think without my specific strats, I'm not very good at these numbers. Alright. Shouldn't take much. I shouldn't give this much more time. It's a bit silly. Fadeaway shot. Ah! Did I almost get... How many was that way? Well, now I'll never know. I think I got 3 in. Like, that was a huge improvement over my last few attempts. And that I actually hit him before losing the Fireflower. One day I'll learn timing. I'll probably have to forget another move to actually get it, but, you know. One can only know 4 things at a time. We learned that from Pokemon. Yep. Oh, I got him, but it didn't matter. Then I did a stupid thing by collecting that. Oh, that was so close. If I just didn't get hit by that last fireball, that would have been free. Would have been free real estate. Look at that, I'm learning. Yep. Not learning well enough. Take this room in practice. Don't take it in practice. I think really it's basically like get down there, spam, and hope I don't end up getting hit by the dang fireballs. It's not like these things move differently. They're quite the same fireballs. They've always been in Mario. So yeah, I think I had to hit him for 3. If I hit him for 4, I would have felt a lot better about that. I've got that room down. I think I'm pretty okay with that room. Spin jump? It's not a bad idea. We can try that. At least I'd be throwing out fireballs. Yeah, it still depends upon me being good. Which I am presently not being. What? Ah. I should have at least played around with the spin jump. We'll play around with the spin jump in the other room, in the first room for a minute to see how it looks. How I feel about it. There we go. Oh. Alright, fine, we'll play around with it in this room. Yeah, I don't know if I like it. I feel like I'm close, but it doesn't seem to be applying. I think I've been saying I feel close for like the last 10 minutes. So. Yeah, that was a solid 5. If I tried not getting hit. It's what I'm trying. It's not very well. So I hit him for 3. I think I'm not going to spend too much more time trying to get this. I think that while I really want that moon... I really want that moon. Can you enter the blue pipe both ways? With a shot. Yeah, you put out the standard number of fireballs with spin jumping. Let's take a look. Yeah, you can. I think that's the key to the whole thing. Yep, that made that really easy. Thank you for the braining. Yeah, the time on that's a lot easier. Alright, let's go. Go to Moonville. Oh my. Yellow pipe, go back to the goal. Green pipe, moon challenge. Right, of course there's gonna be a moon challenge. trying to do here? What? Do I need to get hit first? Become embiggened. Like, what is going on in this room? Oh, I need to get hit to have iframes. Okay, I get it. And I need to not only do that, but I also need to land. Yeah, that's some Galaxy Brain shit right there. Wonder how many of these challenges there's gonna be. Ah. My kingdom for fast reset. Oh, I can't get hit to save my life. Close. I get the feeling this is something I need to get very consistent at if I want to have any chance of getting this moon. Which means my Hail Mary attempts are not a good idea. There we go. Yeah, I thought that would be a lot easier. Oh no, it's not merely that, I also need to get back to the pipe in time. It's easier to get hit, harder to make sure you land it. This is cute. And requires less counting than the previous moon did. Kinda wish those one-way gates weren't there. I don't think that they add to the challenge. They mostly just add load time. But again, you know, punishment makes sense sometimes. I think the lesson here is cut my jumps. No! Like, you need to cut your jumps. Perhaps even have momentum going the way you need to go first. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. It's definitely just cut your jumps. Like there I didn't cut my jump. I landed there way late and barely made it. Yep, cutting my jump made all the difference there. Oh boy. Okay, that was easy. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Things I don't care about. Points. All right. Hard water. Oh, that's adorable. Wait, oh, wait, what? Well, that's what I get for not watching the beginning of the level. What is this? But thank you for the GG. I got distracted. Okay, so Mario is item swimming while not holding an item. And these guys are super fast. This is something. Okay, you need to do first cycle on that. Okay. Lots of practice getting hit from earlier. It's true, I did have a lot of practice. When he was actually holding an invisible item. I mean, it's not the... It seems like it'd be an easy way to implement it. Just, like, force a key into his hand and make it so we can't drop it. Like, that would be an easy implementation of this. It's relatively easy. No, we've done that kind of thing with chat hacks. Sticky fingers. Oh, that's the same fish. This level is actually really cool. And again, teaches you everything you need to know right up front. No. Nope. Turned off the heater because the noise was annoying me. Now my feet are mildly cold. I'll live, though. I'll live. Do like olives. Took me way too long to learn that black olives and green olives are in fact the same kind of olive. There was a kid being grossed out by the green ones. And... nope, they're perfectly fine. They're just regular olives. Different, picked a different ripeness, but same old olives. Still not sure about the olives with a tiny bit of pepper. You know, still strikes me as a bit strange. But, you know, each their own. At least olive-wise. This is very different to... oh god. To do... you know what, I'm just gonna take the hit because I don't have an option to not take the hit. There was a OLDC level that reminded me of this. It reminds me of this. What? Okay. At no point in time was I expecting that. This is not the Toho entry. Okay. Oh. I was expecting another one that shoots. I suspect I was also really close to the end of that section. There's no tell to tell the difference between the two of them. At least at the beginning. Gotta remember to just hug the right on that one. Oh god. I don't know why I'm getting that proc sometimes. Maybe it's only maybe that proc only happens when I'm small. Ah, not dead. Oh. Every SMW hack is part Toho. I suppose. Anywhere where there's a lava lotus, the spirit of Zune resides. It's a reasonable thing. Crap. I think I'm toast. Yeah, I'm already kind of missing the fire bros. Now here's the thing I actually want to know, and I'll probably look into it later. How much longer did it take me to get to the Moon Challenge than it did to beat the Moon Challenge? No. Alright, that kind of worked. Cycle. Oh! Got me right through the box. Deceptive hitboxes. That is very not Toho. In Toho, you know what your hitbox looks like, because there's a tiny little box that tells you. Maybe I lost feeling for this section. First part. It's such a good run that first time, getting all the way to the bullet area. I'm stuck in the fish area. Nope. And not go for a cycle. Maybe I can sneak in on the second cycle. In between cycle. Half cycle. God, I did this wrong. This part is very, very... like, just make sure you are way ahead of where you need to be. I think with that, I'm gonna hit a fish. Nope, just barely not. And then wait. Cycle. Okay. Circular motion, I understand. Mostly understand. Circular motion. Okay. Yeah, I guess the hopping level was just a random, huge amount of difficulty spike. Comparatively. Okay, around the fish. I don't know why I keep thinking I can do that. Okay. Let's go way ahead of these. A deliberate movement. Okay. I wasn't ready. I'm ready now, I think. It was a very precise water level. You had to just swim perfectly if you wanted to have any chance. In fact, I just gave up on getting the dragon coins in it because it just added too much perfection to how you had to do your swims. It was 24 hours, I forget. It's one of the 2 contests I helped judge. I know better. Interesting level. Just very difficult. People generally don't make, like, pure water levels for those contests, I don't think. Map. I pinned myself in. I think it restricts just a bit too much. But... and again, I haven't tried to make a level for a contest. Maybe I'll make a winter level. Maybe I'll read the rules first to see how that works in case, like, testing people's levels counts as doing something bad before I make any statement either way. Crap. But I had that fish dodged. Okay, not first cycle. Very first cycle. And you can't hesitate. He who hesitates is hit by fireballs. Abraham Lincoln said that. He had some severe problems with fireballs in his life. Why he wore a very tall hat to try and confuse the fireballs as to where they should hit him. I don't know why he wore such a tall hat. Like, now think about it, like, stovepipe hats are weird. Then again, an awful lot of, like, turn of the revolutionary, early American fashion's a bit strange. These powdered wigs I get. They were just trying to copy the British. Something about herpes, I think. But... still. Talking all about this careful, measured movement, and now I'm doing, like, dumb things. Dang it. I just need to go forward faster there, and I would have been fine. Okay. About 3 frames later. Doesn't matter. I don't think I need the extra hit to get through all this. It'd be convenient, but I don't think I need it. There's some areas where I need that hit. This is not one of them. Screen wrap. Love it. No. I was trying to go fast enough I could hit that on first cycle, but I don't need to hit that on first cycle. First cycle is not beneficial there. Not beneficial in the slightest. Really, I want to, like, abuse left-right, or the left spawning thing to get the fish to wake up earlier would be nice, but it's about the only thing I can think of that I want with regards to that. Okay, first cycled. As I can get away with it here. Onward to the mace zone. Now the part where we slowly walk across the floor. Because he's hitting where I am and not where I will be. Oh, right. And I swear the one down there always misses its second fire attempt. Okay, that's a slammer one. And it would have killed me by scrolling me through the wall. Ah! Oh, okay. Oh, wait, what? Oh, this is fucking weird. Oh god, I'm still item swimming, but I can shoot straight fireballs. Yeah, we Toho now. Do not care. Look, you guys get curtain fire, I get curtain fire. Get the feeling they didn't intend anybody to do this. You know what? We take these. Okay, fine, I can't kill maces. Yeah, I got a big old dumb smile on my face for this section. It's silly and stupid and I don't care. Ow. Do I have a turbo controller? No! I do not have a turbo controller. But I am going to take a short restroom break. I will be right back. But I do wish I had a turbo controller right now. In fact, that entire, like, prior section, the Fire Bro section, would have been kind of trivialized by having access to one. Since there were certain areas where I was having trouble and the solution was just to spam, and I wasn't spamming well enough to start. But I'm loving this. And especially the yeet animation. Like, that's always just a fun one. like it way better than turning into a coin. Prevents lag, too. Oh, I shouldn't try to kill those. Correction, I shouldn't try to kill both of those. Like, holding Y doesn't mean anything, so I can just do this. I'm just kind of rocking my fingers between X and Y. Like, I feel like this is not meant to be difficult. It's sort of like a victory lap after all that. Just see how much stuff I can destroy. That Mario Wrecker of Faces. I'll have to watch out for that one. Okay, that was better. I go up for this one. Ah! What about turning into a coin that flies off screen? Actually, that'd be kind of cool. Give it like little wings. Little coin soul. At least that's the way I think Snyder always said. You gotta eat the coin soul or else it'll come back. Maybe I said that, I don't know. One of us said it. Full true. This is quite literally giving Mario the Mega Man weapon before defeating the boss. You know that thing where when he defeats you, he gets your weapon? Could he not do that? So he should get the weapon before he defeats the boss? No weapons! What's the deal with these power-ups? They're clearly intended for Mega Man. It's got his face on it. Oh, no. I have considered, like, making a turbo controller. I have enough Super Famicom controllers that burning one or two to make a turbo controller would be a fun project, possibly. Maybe some sort of midway between a USB type of controller or something. Projects that are theoretically possible, but unlikely I'll ever get around to. My hardware abilities are pretty minimal. At least the wiring bits, I can do Verilog. At least I think I can still do Verilog. It's been like 10 years. The sad thing is that I expect that Verilog itself hasn't changed much, at least code-wise in all this time. Don't try. That way lies madness. There's two clustered in the middle here after this. No, it's after this. There's two in the middle. And by that, two, I mean four. Oh, a midway. Cool. Wait. I think shit just got real. Or shit would have been real, except... No, shit is real. Holy cow. Aw, man, because of where it spawns me, the music starting thing has to happen every single time. Oh god. Be praying indeed. It was the line from Heraga. Warning, a giant boss approaches. Its name is Asagi. Make your peace. Now I'm beginning to think that the turbo thing was intended. underwater fruit dealer was not something I was expecting today. Amusingly enough, that was the domain I was thinking of. Fruit.dealer. 4K a year. Not worth for a stupid joke. In the middle. Oh, God. Yep, 100 hits. Just like the original fruit dealer. You have to hit him 100 times. But I can get like 10 of them before he spawns, so, you know, I got that going for me. Like, if he does 2 of those, I think I'm set. Okay, dodge third apple. Was red bad? Red? Yeah, red was split shot. Ah. Do you have anything in mind for the domain? I had a Super Mario World project that I thought would be funny to put online. One of those, like, I've thought about this for a while and it would be kind of cool things, not a, like, actual, reasonable, fully fleshed out idea. So, and it would just be a cute reference, but because it was Super Mario World related, I got bounced somehow. It would be a good domain for that. But yeah, .dealer is meant for, like, dealerships, like Ford dealerships and stuff, so, you know, anyone who can want to burn 4K a year on that kind of thing. Which, you know, I just don't want to do that. It's an absurd amount of money for a silly joke. I am not good at dodging that initial Slavo. Pink is definitely one I can avoid. I don't even remember what green does. Oh, they do the delicious fruit thing. Okay. So I don't want to proc too many greens at a time is what I'm learning. I like Golden Delicious. Golden Delicious is probably my favorite of the attacks so far. Just because I can largely stay in the center and focus on what matters. If I'm actually good at it, which is debatable. Okay, green. Stay far back. Oh, God. Fruit dealer, dot mitra. Oh, that's a better one. I don't know. I like the simple cleanliness of the dot dealer TLD. I'll think about it. I will think about that. Wouldn't be the first time I've bought a European domain for the purposes of that sort of domain hacking thing. Oh, God. What am I doing? Okay, there's only one attack I've learned how to dodge. Or 2. I've learned to dodge Pink Ladies, and I've learned to dodge Golden Delicious. I've yet to figure out how to do red ones or Granny Smiths. We'll call the red ones. That's how you dodge the red ones. Except you have to do it more than once. The tree is in Africa. Okay, fair enough. All the ones I bought were from... what's that country? Somewhere in Europe, I forget. The AT one. Might be Austria. And of course, Catalan. Catalan's always a fun one. You get actual dot. C-A-T. For the longest time, it was one of the, like, only legitimate TLDs that was a reasonable word. Of course, the downside with those is you're technically supposed to be supporting the Catalan language and culture with those. And, well, I know nothing about those. No, it targets where you're going to be. Okay. .net.pl. Does Poland do that thing where they don't let you have things in the top level domain? Like co.uk or co.jp? I always hated that. Like, there's enough space for everybody here. Admittedly, the United States doesn't really do much with its, like, .us TLD if you really want that. Dang. That was a good start. Okay, if I can get pink ladies and golden delicious, I'm fine. Are there any .us websites? I think there are, but I don't think anyone cares about them. Like, it's a TLD, but, like, nobody really uses it. Because, like, if you're going to be a commercial thing in the United States, you use .com. You're going to be a... If you're a government thing, you use .gov. .org covers a lot of ground, regardless of whether or not you're an organization or not. And .net, it still exists for some reason, even though no one cares about networks anymore. What's up, Kappa? How you doing? We're throwing apples at people. Or miraculously, I'm having apples thrown at me, but you know. I'm really good at that phase. All of the other ones, not so much. Oh, now he's throwing just reds. Oh, God. I knew he had to get harder. There's no way they would have let it just stay. This is Fruit Dealer we're talking about here. He's a legend in Apple marketing. Oh! You can't unload someone else's module. That's not entirely true. Squiggles can. Anyone with mod priority can. Snyder could, since he was explicitly put into the list. Like, my permission system is actually pretty reasonably figured on a per-function basis. I need to keep going down. Yes, you probably could. That is true now. You could actually do that if you wanted to. I would ask you kindly not to, but I know you can. I still don't know what to do with greens. Like, the entire, like... I'm so RNG dependent for this. If I just get, like, 2 oranges, I'm set. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Pinks I can deal with. But orange gives you so much time to shoot. I assume this has to be the end of the hack. Like, there's no way this isn't the climax. Like, seriously, you're not gonna have Fruit Dealer just be a common mook. His cruelty is well known. His coolness established. It'll be at least, like, 3 gigafonzies. Give me something easy. Nope. Climax is a different world peace boss? I didn't know that. How many bosses is world peace? I guess actually, Cool or Cruel, that like whole level has like 80 different bosses. Like the Boo bosses alone, there's a lot of them. Dang it. Doing that in real time would be insane. What if anyone's actually beat Cruel or Cruel completely in real time? Like, people start, you know, talking about beating Fruit Dealer. Like, do the whole level RTA. I feel like these apples do not reflect normally. Okay. Ow. Alright, what's next? Blue. Oh, blue's not bad. I forgot blue existed. I don't know of a blue apple. Ah. Blapple. No, that just sounds terrible. I'm gonna just call those blueberries. Okay. Alright, he does the bonus fruit. That's how I died last time. I'm just gonna focus on dodging and kind of spam shots and hope. Damn it! I think he exploded. I'd say 3 was my record, but 2 was my record. Alright, there we go. Red, done with Red Delicious. Back to Pink Ladies. No, Red Gala, that's a better name. Better apple, because we already have Golden Delicious. I really hope that internally in their ASM, these are all named after apple varieties. There's so many apple varieties. Like, seriously, you would not even believe. Fruit cultivars are serious business. What if this is not even his true form? No, I wasn't ready for red. Paperwalski. Wookie. Paper Wookie. I don't know how to pronounce that. I assume that's a Polish variety. Given the WK is not a very common start. So, yeah. No. A very common thing in English words. Except for in, like, the... No, I don't even know that. Something like Wolfski. Surname you see occasionally, like Wazowski or something. I'm not sure that necessarily implies Polish as much as monster at this point in time. Oh, I never figured out green. Crap. Granny Smith, I do not know how to defeat you. Zook. Kneel before Zook. I was just thinking American varieties, or varieties that have American names. I was thinking apples earlier. For instance, what was that? It was like a potato. Learned about. Had a fun name. Damn, it's a Japanese potato. I'm not gonna remember it. It's a setup for a joke in a manga about cats. I liked that manga. It's unfortunate it ended so quickly. Didn't have a very long run. But given its premise, I'm not terribly surprised. One Piece it was not. Alright, give me those golden delicious. No, in terms of apple varieties, even outside of these, I think Granny Smith is my favorite. Some people swear about for Red Delicious. Was it like Cosmic Crisp, I think, is the new hotness? I don't think I ever cared for Honeycrisp. Red apples are just eh. Like, sure, make a pie out of them, but don't make me eat them. Then again, if I was gonna make a pie, I'd probably still use Granny Smith apples. Because I like Granny Smith so much. Tomatoes have funny names. There's the Mortgage Lifter tomato. Varietal. That's a weird one. I think I heard an NPR report on the origination of that one. Dude trying to do, like, basic genetics at his farm. Oh no! I'm dead. I have no idea how to dodge. Nope. I could have gone back. Maybe if I go under the second one and go backwards for the third. I really would just like him to do 2 of these. Maybe stick with the pink stuff, maybe a red one. I'm certain he's programmed to not do the same attack twice because I haven't seen it yet. Alright, here we go. Ugh. The problem is, like, and this is hard to tell if you're not, like, playing it, is that you get this weird extra bit of momentum. You're constantly being pushed a little bit. And so it's really hard to stay exactly where you want to stay. Oh wait, red. Oh god. Have you tried not getting hit? Good Korean advice. I think I'll just kill the boss. I don't know. What's everyone else's favorite variety of apple? Or any type of fruit that merits a name? I've always been a fan of the Meyer lemon. Thought it was a very good type of lemon for many applications. Oh, I got stuck to the floor. Macintosh? Pear, just pear. I can see Macintosh being an underrated apple. I haven't seen one of those in stores in a while. But then again, I don't generally spend much time in the apple aisle. Okay, time to learn how to deal with green apples. Nope. iPhone 12, Linux Apple. Lindos. I use Microsoft Linux. I guess we're gonna do the apple joke. I suppose Newton would probably be the most appropriate one. They get to live in my good graces this time. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. It's always bad when you're not paying attention to an enemy that is completely attack cycle based. Green. Well, that's how you deal with it. Oh, I just need to make sure to go back and then forward, I guess. I'm just betting 3. We tried selling attention. I don't believe I have. I mean, wouldn't that be like the ad business? Selling attention? Something about impressions and click-through rates and things like that. I guess I've technically worked for 2 different ad companies, I think about it. A little depressing. Ah, I should have gone up. They go at the same angle. Yeah, they always go at the angle, like, towards me. I assume it's towards me. They don't move, thankfully. But once, angle once set. Alright, what are we gonna get? Pink. It's a combination that usually results in me dying. I don't trust those. It is still satisfying, that opening slot, though. Ah. Red is easy, just don't do that. Blue. No. I think blue is easy, but every time I've done it, I think I've hit the ceiling. When you hit the ceiling, something weird happened. No, I guess not, huh? Yeah, I'm superstitious. Very superstitious. Buttons on the wall. At least this does explain why there's the, like, 8 fireballs at once thing. This would be really annoying with only 2. Though really, the simplest solution to that would be to reduce the number of hits he takes by a lot. Oh no, no. Every time he fires that first apple, I try to go back and down, and it never works. What's embarrassing is there's like 2 of these that I have no recourse for. I can deal with all the other attacks, but blue and green elude me. Miraculously, they hit me in the face a lot. Can we not start with that one? Head. Come on, give me pink. Red. Okay, red's fine. No, I went to the floor too early. Like, touching the floor is really bad. Touching the ceiling is only kind of bad. It's the momentum you hold. I remain confident. I will be able to remove apples from the universe. Like I say, every time that first red apple spawns, I try to go backwards, and it just does not work. I end up drifting right into the angle. I was getting really good at hurting him during these phases. It's different red apples. Oh. A single slow-moving fruit. Yes, my biggest weakness. Go banana! To be fair, it's often conjoined with my difficulty in dodging multiple slow-moving fruits, but, you know. I wasted a whole cycle there doing nothing. And green apples. Right, go forward, then try to go back with those. Man, do I wish I had a turbo controller. This part would be so much more convenient, I suppose. What about easier? Actually, that'd be kind of easier because I'm not trying to, like, focus on mash and this. Ironically, that's how you get apple cider. You mash it. Alright, what's the next phase? Pink ladies, okay. One fireball, one X or Y, yep. A single X or Y yields one fireball. I get hit by both of those apples. I am kind of cheating by rocking between X and Y, but... I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm certain it wasn't intended for you to do this in one phase. Ugh. Like, the 70 damage I'm getting in the single Golden Delicious phase should not be happening, I imagine. Of course, it's mitigated by the fact that I'm shit at all the other ones. That one was free. That one was mine to lose. All I had to do was go up more. Earlier. Alright, what's the next phase? Pink lady, okay. Oh! Okay. Oh, I wasn't doing my mashing thing. Ah, crap. Well, that's 10 free damage I'm losing out on. It's 10 free damage, it doesn't matter because I get hit by a single apple. Okay. Just need a calm mind. Chill out. I'm making this harder than it needs to be. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Okay, beyond getting hit by the fruit. I think it's the fact... Okay, that's what's kind of thrown me off at the beginning, but then that doesn't apply. I'd say it's because I'm getting to get too greedy. I keep thinking I can go up above something, and I can't. Like, only go at sort of the apex of the fruit. Oh, I'm just dead. Momentum. Alright, here comes the slow moving pieces of fruit. I think exit would be an effective maneuver. I don't think I have that button on my keyboard, or SNES controller. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I suppose. It's an option. It would get me back to the world map. It would not usher in a new era of Apple marketing. Because when you kill the fruit dealer, you become a fruit dealer, you see? That's why he always will exist. He is perpetual. He's like the Santa Claus. Oh, God. I keep backing myself into a corner when I get close. Like, Like, that was a really good set of apples. Come on, go red. Some more fruit. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I keep trying to go low. I need to not go as low as I'm going. Let's actually learn from our mistakes here. If I want to go under these apples, but I also don't need to go so far under them. I hit the ground. Killed him from the back on that attack. I'm not sure Mario has back attack. It'd be a nice skill. I don't think he has it. You have to spec into Rogue to get access to sneak attack. Okay. It was way too close for comfort. Come on, red apples. Always pink, I swear. Focused on it last night. I think I've killed him, like, once, and it didn't end the level. I think you have to kill him and not die. I could be wrong, though. But you have a valid point. Like, I swear I've seen him go poof. But I still died to apples. Yeah, it's the only thing I can die to around here, I suppose. Except blueberries. Speak of the devils. I don't like those. There's certainly an interesting bias towards which attacks show up more often. Like, I definitely get more of the ones I want than the ones I don't. No! Okay, well, an opportunity to try and learn to dodge blue. Like, blue, I think, is just, like, you've got to do such a small movement. Because if you have a large amount of movement, it takes a long time to cancel out your momentum under here. Ow. And I didn't even mash Fujilla because I was thinking about momentum. Yeah, this actually isn't bad for me, I suppose. Eh, no, it's kind of bad, because I would have been able to hit him into the second cycle at this point. Well, maybe he comes up with a one that I can deal with. Okay. Focus. Fruit. Determination. No! You think dying to the urchin should set you back a checkpoint? That's like a needlessly cruel thing to do. Be kind of fun. One of those other people have to play it sort of things. I should have gone further back. That's all I should have done. Further back and up. Wait, what? No. Oh, they... It was lower to the ground, I could probably get away with that one. It would also murder me. So maybe it's something like down, up. Yeah. I'm not sure. Green remains a mystery. I may never figure out how green works properly. I did successfully beat blue once. Oh, no, you were right. Just focus on killing, I guess. Huh. Fruit dealer has dealt his final hand of fruit, I guess. Super Sicko Worlds. Sickos World, that S translated over a bit. Project Coordinator, Heraga. Level Design, Heraga. Margot, Nitrogen, and RussianMan. Overworld by Mogo. Exclusive graphics. Ooh, by Heraga, Margot, and RussianMan. Exclusive music by tcdw. Exclusive ASM by RussianMan. Graphics by, oh boy, Momaro, Aniki, Burke, Falcon Punch, Amelia, Isocatron, Hoopster, Nitrogen, and Pie Guy. Pie. Music by composer Dippy, Dominator, Hooded Edge, Amelia, Kevin, Ladies Man, Louie, Moose, Nast. I'm not reading that, that's a lot of things. Slashman, Tamaki, Wakana, World Peace. Maybe it makes sense if you read it upside down. ASM by Argus, Carol, Katobat, Darlock, Darvos, D to the 4th, Edit, Hammerbro, Infrared, Kevin, Lion, Louie, LX5, Mandu, Mario Fangamer, Math on Napkins, Mike, EK, Noel Yoshi, Shog, Sonicu, Small Hacker, Tattletale, Vitter, Viella, White Yoshi Egg, and World Peace. Tools by Aclario, Atari, Fusuya, Jack the Spades, Capernal, a name to say, P4+2, Tattletale, DBiob, Victor, Viella. Playtesting by Bullet. Oh, Risto! I didn't know Risto tested this. Brad Brains and Seokadelic. Very cool people. Well, thank you for the GG. Thanks for organizing the SMW Hack Jam. Amethyst, James QTV for judging their hack. Thank you for contributing to this cursed hobby by making or playing ROM hacks. Thank you for playing my game. Green ones are let them fall and then back up. Yeah, I'm not good at apples. Behind the store lies the author of each level. Get all the exits to reveal who made your levels. Well, I'm curious. Also, thank you again for the GG's, peoples. Oh, crap, it's going automatically. Groovy Grinders Galore were RussianMan. Casino Countdown was Nitrogen. Interesting. So I don't know Nitrogen that well. Shoplifting Margot. Fire Pillar Frenzy RussianMan. Any Port in a Storm was Margot. Blockbreaker Bluffs were Margot. I didn't care for that level. I liked the Lightning one, though. Liverpool Lounge is very memorable. Adolescent Plumbing. Now that's a level. Combustion Calamity was really cool. Hard Water. Yeah, that level. And I missed the first name, so we're gonna have to do it again. I wasn't paying attention. That's a Wrap. It was by Heraga, and Molehill Mountains was RussianMan. Alright. Thank you for the JJ, Kappa. Ugh. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm gonna be done with that. That was a fun hack. With a ridiculous ending. So now what? That's always the question. Well, I'll take suggestions. I'd say there's about 20 to 30 minutes of streaming left. So I might just grab like a where I'm at Grace's level. Because I've done everything I care to do with Hack Jam for the time being. I'm not getting started on the one level wonder that is sauce search. 10-minute chat hacks? You know, that has an appeal. That does in fact have an appeal. Well, you know what? Why not? Why not? Yeah, I did see that. I think I want to approach that one, like, not after doing something that did a lot. Like, my middle finger tends to hurt after doing things where I end up pressing my hands too hard on the controller, and that spin jumping level did that. So I may want to take a break on that. But yeah, we'll chat XMSNW. I think that could be fun. Quick impromptu one. Super Mario World FC. GeoGuessr. No thank you. No geoguessing. Alright, here we go. Do an impromptu one. We're definitely not going to beat Bowser without a lot of luck. But we'll see what we do. It's been a while since I've done one of these, like, oh man, I'm tired. Yeah, we'll chat X. I think last one of those was like when Desi raided me after his birthday like a year ago. Yeah, it's up. Up and running. The moment you do something is the moment something happens. As well grab Yoshi. Time corner. At least I think it works. I haven't like tested everything since I did some refactoring on Carl, but I think everything should be fine. Well, things are being weird. That's a good sign. But, yeah, just made some small changes to Carl to support Rats tags. Why did the intro message have EA in it? That's because I edited the hack to apply most of the Lunar Magic patches. I wanted a few of them in there because they're convenient for my purposes. So, occurs to me that the title change will probably pick it up. No, I guess it won't, actually. Very much a whatever. I'll fix it if it's appended to the end of the other VOD. Yeah, that's more like it. Mario spends time sliding around on his butt. It's giving coin amounts way above 64. Yeah, it's probably worth debugging. But it's also fine. Do love me some posing. It is in fact one of my favorite simple things that people have accomplished. Now, where was the chat hacks page again? Conveniently, you scroll up, or do that. It'll show up next time it crashes. Yeah, it was fun last time I did this impromptu. It's been a very long time since there's been a... I've got a little bit of time. Why not? Chat hacks. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, did I ever actually properly enable fast ROM on this one? I don't think I did. I went through the effort to make sure that Carl supported Fast-ROM regardless, provided it's in a reasonable mapper. But it has been a while. Now, in my mind, I briefly thought I would be teleported immediately to Morton's castle when I saw the castle intro start. Here we go. Interesting. Oh, you know, I probably should put up the, whatever. I probably should have put up the overlay for it, but I'd need to leave. I'd need to switch input sources, and it's annoying. Maybe after this castle. I had a plan, it just didn't work. Look at the glory of Mode 7. There we go. Alright, we'll fix that up now. One of those things been on my list forever is to write reasonable controls for overlays. Let's see. No, not that one. Oh yeah, I have to refresh that one for it to work. Is that brother 6 or 9? Refresh. Bang. 19. Yep, okay, that works. 19 is the best test address, because you can see its effect immediately. I think that wiggle thing oh, the wiggle thing is happening. I'm just gonna try and ignore that. Not even that much weirdness occurring yet. Look at him go! Oh. F16, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's the jump. What's up, Mixter? Oh, again. Load Carl. Carl doesn't exist. Poor Carl and his lack of existence. I'm curious what you're snooping for there, Max. Not sure what my plan here is yet. There we go. I do love how the coins are disappearing every moment. One day Carl will exist. I suppose there's no reason for people not to make that module that loads up a Carl Yoshi if they didn't want to. Wouldn't be that challenging. A bit like the Boon one. Or Luigi. Oh no. No, no, no. I can't believe I didn't get hit by that fish. Also, read-ROM no longer crashes. Well, that's good. I am happy to hear that. Crap. No, bad fish. What was the command? Read? Reload? Not sure which command you're referring to. Off there. Dude, oh, I probably shouldn't jump. That's probably not a smart move. Eh. 1 for 1 on those. Still pretty happy about it. Oh, list. Exclamation point list. I have a feeling I know what's coming next. Remember mention how much I love the fact that you don't have to go through that room. Alright. Oh god. I was not ready for that. Once again, I remain very curious about what your goal here is, Max. Oh. You know, if I just waited for a second for my exuberance. Hooray for saving. Alright. Nice peaceful level. Let's get to relax. Always thought Star Road was a bit silly. I want that. How do I... Where is my hitbox? What? I guess I'm not actually in Starman state. Oh, things are happening. Help. Frame rule star. Well, that does explain it. Oh, I didn't want that. I guess I'll relax on my Yoshi. Also, what is wrong with these fishes? They have problems. Okay. Hey. My Yoshi was hungry. Sometimes you just gotta feed the Yosh. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It changes the vertical scroll and jumps back. Thought it would do some communication with the USB to SNES. It can't. That's the interesting thing. So there's two different sort of modes you can kind of run in for USB stuff. And the way the SD to SNES does it is the computer is in control of the whole thing. Whereas for the EverDrives, the game itself is in control, which is weird. So the game itself like pulls ports and stuff in order to tell whether or not you need to do USB things, which is not the case on the USB to SNES. So it does not communicate. All communication is done via read ports, or just read addresses. And since I can read all of standard WRAM, there's no real need to do anything fancy there. You know, a thought suddenly occurs. With a red Yoshi, I can't actually beat the level. Mistakes were made. Does it already detect if it's already hijacked? Yes. It detects the hijack. And then calls the hijack in the event that happens. Wait, I don't want to be in this level. That was the big problem. That was one of my problems earlier when I was changing it out, was I kept messing up parts of it because I didn't realize exactly how other people had hijacked it, and what I did to begin with kind of worked on useful accident. The free address I was using, it wasn't really a free address, it was just that there was a write to and a superfluous bit of low RAM, and I just was like, okay, well, I'll just use that instead to rewrite that function to disable vertical scrolling. But that caused other problems, as was demonstrated. I have a feeling I'm slow now. We are now exploring the bottom part of the level because it's fun. But yeah. I made that change a while ago. I think before the last chat hacks. I finally got that to a place where I liked it. I suddenly I don't... Oh, right, I need the blue Yoshi if I'm gonna do this. Sup, Silly Cake TV, how you doing? There is no module Sex with Princess. Nice try, though. Oh, thanks for the follow. And I got stuck. I wasn't paying attention. What's up, Shadow Boy? I missed your, didn't see you in the spam. That's why I have a second chat client. Smart move here. Or it got weirdly... I guess it makes sense it got reordered. But how you doing, Shadow Boy? Stand here very carefully. Load, unload. Ah, I see. Very purple suddenly. Very different. Right. Not this time. Yoshi's not eating this one. What's up, Circle Friendo? Yeah, they were a bit sporadic through December, but I'm getting back into the groove in January. Good. Waiting at home, have an hour to get to the train station. I must go. My planet needs me. Okay. Right. Sleepery. It's been a long time, Sleepery. God, doors. Need to not go over the door. Okay. Focus. Wait for it. No, I'm not gonna wait for it. Oh god, no, get rid of that thing. I don't need that thing. No, wait, actually, it's not even where I want to jump. Huh. God, I forgot how much focus you actually need to Sleepery. Dang it. Exclamation point list. I suspect, however, that Max, to demonstrate that he can, has now unloaded all the modules. Or loaded all the modules that were loaded prior. I don't know if I want 3. This room is so obnoxious and sleepery. Though it does now look like bubble tape. Well, it's got that going for it. Right. Oh, hey, Yoshi. Maybe Yoshi. You never know with Yoshis. Nope. There we go. Of course, I can't actually keep the Yoshi because of the shortness of the door. Oh, it's man's best horse. Oh god, that's gonna be a... God, that's an irritating combination. There we go. Not a blowshi this time. I do appreciate the fact that it's not a blowshi. I might just go through, like, door 6 because it's here. I don't want to just have to walk all the way somewhere else. Oh, God. Swimming. Oh, no, wait, this is fine. As long as I stay in the air. It's fine. This is fine. This isn't fine. This isn't fine at all. But I guess if I have a Yoshi... Oh, never... Oh, there he is. Dang it. No, this remains not fine. At least I think this room ends in a pipe, so I can take my Yoshi with me. What hit me? Oh my, okay, I think Yoshi's just terrified of me now. It's probably for the best. Oh, right. I need to stay swimming when I'm up there. Like, the whole time. I'm dead. You think after all that fruit dealer nonsense, I would get better at not dying to silly things. But no. No, I want to not be on Yoshi. Takes so much. Nope, no, no. Now, at least with Yoshi, I can, like, kill these things forever. That's really convenient. The bonus hit, it doesn't hurt. Okay, nope. Nope. I don't want the Mecha Koopa. I've killed all the Mecha Koopas. I just want the Yoshi. There we go. Okay. Goodbye, Yoshi. I think that room was a bad call. I think I want the one with the Chucks. Chucks is, 8, right? No, it's 7. Well, Chucks are statues. Either way, I have Yoshi. Okay, maybe I don't either way have a Yoshi now. We are no longer blow-sheeing. Or, man's best horsing. Around. There we go. Bye, Yoshi. Okay. Much redder in here. You know what's weird? Ah, crap. Oh, this is bad for me. Since the last time I played was on the SMW, but, you know, as people remember it. I'm actually a little bit confused. Alright. Wait, do I want to stand here? I need to think with Leap. Okay. Come on. Yeah. No. Ugh. All right. This is disconcerting. Mario with a big Mario with a tiny head. I lost it. Okay, there we go. All right, often star. Okay, nope. No, no. Oh, Marissa. Yeah, this is making it better already. But considering I'm coming through here to try and get a power-up, this probably wasn't the smartest of moves. Oh, nice to see that my stuff is working correctly. Now instead of printing the GUID at me, it actually prints the reward itself. Huge improvement. I'm just gonna walk to the door. There we go. Now you're playing with power. have a feeling... Ow. Oh no. It was not the good kind of feeling. It was not the good kind of feeling at all. But it is so convenient. Just watch. Just go. You know, actually, with that in mind, maybe this is the right call, even if it doesn't give me a power-up, just because it's fast. Like, you can do this at top speed. Mostly. I'm waiting. I'm not touching that thing. Gristle lying down on the job again. I think 8 might be the right call. I don't know. One of those things. And the beat goes on. I don't really need the light. I've seen the light. It's overrated. Right. Nope. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that worked out. Often star solved that problem. Any chance I could get a power-up? This is already going to be tricky. Marissa rolls her eyes at me. Oh, that works. Woohoo for cape. Ah. Yeah, often star's a fickle one. Okay, wait for it to fall off. Don't completely miss Bowser. Yeah, I was just kind of hoping that I would land on him. Ah! Like the first frame. Complete, utter luck. Not planned in the slightest. May as well get rid of you. I'm not going to do anything with you anyway. Reserve space in ROM, module status in SRAM, and Carl initialized for 13. Yep, that is all true. SRAM is a very convenient place. It varies from thing to thing. It just happened to be 13 in this case. Why 13? So it's actually 12. The 13th one is reserved for me. Snyder asked if I could raise the number a little bit probably a year ago, and I'm like, well, 8 isn't enough. I guess we'll do one more. So, oh no, my cape is gone. And then there's one reserved for my use when I need to use it. Which doesn't come up very often. But for SA1, I need like a module to do some reading stuff because I don't have access to all of the things I need to on the USB side. Aw, oh, come on! That was so close. That was not the time. The hell's that? Man. Not gonna let me kill him. Nope. One of these worthless Goombas. Dang it. Isn't 10 the max? I don't think so. Oh hey, mushroom. When I load it, it loads in a special slot if free, yes. Not like a special slot, it's more like there's just a reserved one for me. That makes sense. Like, you guys can load 12 or 10 or whatever, and there's one reserved. Though that might only be in SA1 mode. I'd have to check. It's been a while since I've looked at that code. I can get, like, flight speed fast. Or not. I do like the mushroom dropping on me. That's a nice change. Compared to what usually happens. So 6 loaded, and is it complaining that there's too many? I think at one point I had a problem with phantom modules that would get loaded up. I don't think that happens anymore. I might be waiting a while. XYZ. Yeah, let's see how long it takes. Oh no, I jumped! Oh god, this is awful. Trivia. All the things down there are sprites. Because of Mode 7. This is a strange set of things. This is not something I can actually do. I'm at exactly the same speed as the Mech Koopa. That's kind of cool. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, 12. So yeah, there's like one reserved slot. I don't even know if it's reserved specifically for me or just like I have things that use it. Oh god, I'm so slow. No. At least I got the mushroom this time. And now I'm completely invisible. That was probably just a module unloading problem. There we go. Was too lazy. I kind of figured you would do that, actually. Frankly speaking, I'm surprised I haven't made a command that's like unload all that's not reset. Because that's something that reset can do. Sort of implicitly. That's... You know, sometimes you just don't expect the Ninja to jump at that time. I'm gonna be very curious to find out what you end up doing with all this information. Beyond critiquing my, like, not amazing ability at 6502. 65-816. Alright. Yeah, I was actually surprised it didn't crash. I was half expecting that it had crashed when I entered the Bowser fight and everything was invisible. But no, it actually worked together. I think most of those leap ones were Fiskbit messing around. Oh, there we go. There's a box. What's up, Havaluta? Here's my empty box and my red background. Always good to take a short respite when I get raided. Especially to enjoy the red box. Anyway. What's up, Space Glam? Oh no, not airlock. Oh my god, I hate airlock. You sleep now? Did you manage to beat Grand Poo World 2 Bowser? I'm going to guess not, but I figure I should ask. No, sad. What was the PB today? Airlock, right? 5? That's not bad. You're on your way. Even 5's pretty big accomplishment on that guy. So congrats regardless. But enjoy your sleep. What? No. Oh, God. God, I hate airlock. I already had to play Mario 1 style with lost players. It's gonna end up hitting me. No, thanks to airlock, it did not hit me. However, also thanks to airlock, I didn't get any hits in. Oh! Okay, with this knowledge, you may be able to do chat hacks modules on SA1, SMB, or maybe SNES without having to circumvent. I mean, really, the thing is that if you know where my hook is, and it gets called at least once a frame, and then it gets returned somewhere reasonable, it's probably gonna work. Since you know where that is now, the only problem is it's gonna think your module's loaded, which is kind of the problem. So there's gotta be a way to do it, but I don't know what it is. Love messing with Mario's pose. Yeah, it's a fun one. Like, Marissa looks so unhappy. And it's so very reasonable for her to look like that right now. Thanks to airlock. But I'm getting infinite mushrooms. It's fine. I thought NMI had to fire for WRAM to be modified and modules to be written to ROM. Modules can be written to ROM independently of NMI firing. I don't know why I did that. But, yeah, without NMI, I can't write to WRAM unless I'm writing it through a Carl module, which is how the SA1 version of this works. Is it just compiles your writes into Carl modules and loads them, which is why I think I have more reserved on SA1 now that I think about it, because I need 2 for that. That was terrible. That was low. I'm trying not to jump. It's not helping. Wait, what? Why'd I die? No! But yeah, for vanilla, for non-SA1, I would need NMI to fire. Even, actually, no, I need a NMI to fire regardless. I can't get around that problem. Yeah, no, NMI has to go, or else it doesn't go, because that's sort of the tick that runs the whole system. What? Man, alright, fine. Since there are more people here. Let's go. Always a way to end it. Maybe after playing some SMB1 style hack, I'll be better at SMB1. Though admittedly, still not very good at it. Nope. Yeah, as long as CHR-ROM is running, it's not going to be able to do more chat hacksy things, but you know, I still enjoy it. It's a nice port. Yep, this is SMB1. Max converted SMB1 into 2 Carl modules. It is quite literally the same as normal SMB1. Same code, more or less. With some changes, like the music engine's different, and I imagine other I.O. things are different, but for the most part, yeah, it plays exactly the way you'd expect it to. Can't fire 8 fireballs at once, so nothing like the ending boss of Sickos. Have you finished Sickos, Hawaluta? Or did you not? I mean, I don't think you started Sickos. You did Lost. But the final boss of Sickos is awesome. I wasn't very good at it, but it was awesome. Nope. Having to start Sickos. Just be excited for the final boss, because it's a pretty awesome final boss. I, in fact, did not see it coming. And I think my strategy for beating it was probably not the intended one. But it worked. And as they say, if it's stupid and it works... Right, there's that thing. I probably should have given an explanation to what I'm doing for anyone out here who doesn't actually understand what's going on. We are currently editing, or we were editing, before we started playing Super Mario Bros. 1, the RAM on my Super Nintendo while playing Super Mario World. But, you know, now we're playing Super Mario Bros. 1 because that's one of the bits that got edited. SMW just purely got edited to SMB1. Yeah, I'd actually say I'm feeling more confident in my SMB1 now, thanks to SMB for Lost level, or SMW for Lost players. I appreciate that you're cleaning it up, Kappa, even though it's not necessary to do so. Okay. I know how to do this. I made a graph, dang it. I know how to do this. But anyway, yeah, usually there's some amount of chaos, and this certainly counts. But yeah, none of those modules would take effect just because the mechanism that was there that allowed us to do the right no longer exists because this is a complete hijack. Does unloading also free up ROM space? Yeah, it does. I keep a free list. I don't think it matters too much because most of the time, we rarely run out of useful allocatable RAM. Because there's a ROM, just because there's a lot of it. Usually, hacks don't tend to use a lot of bits and pieces I can kind of steal away. Even with finally putting rats tags in so that I won't accidentally steal someone else's zeros. It's still a lot of space. The problem, of course, is it's not always a lot of contiguous space, but most curl modules tend to be pretty small. So even tiny bits of space are pretty findable and usable for me. Oh, I was too busy looking at the timer. As long as there's no, You know, that was a bad idea. Nope. Unload program. There was an X. What's the way you, like, restart at the level you were at? It's like press up and start or something? Down start? No, apparently not that. Either way, Cosmic I'm not. A start. Ah, darn it. Well, I'm gonna remember that next time. I probably should have just waited. That would have been the smart move. But I will remember that for next time. Where is it? And I know it's here. Maybe it's not here. Maybe I don't need it. But yeah, this has definitely been an ending to this stream. A much lengthy ending to this stream. The initial plan was just to derp around with this for like 10 minutes, but this problem with chat hacks is once you get going, you always want to play a little bit more. Kind of hoping I'd actually finish the Super Mario World, but it was not meant to be. Alright, it's almost 3:30. Let's take a look. See who's playing video games. Oh, actually, that's a pretty good call there. I think I know who the raid target will be. It's someone I know is not going to be going offline 3 minutes later. There's nothing more embarrassing than setting up a raid for someone who's going to go offline 3 seconds later. I feel like we do need to, like, have a... Ah, dang it! Stupid turtle. Okay. It jumped! I should have known that. That it would do that. I need to watch both chats now, because I think that because of how certain things are implemented, there's a possibility of my entire chat client hanging. Certain key assumptions. Oh, no. Maybe I should just learn to press B. See, I've already lost, like, what, 2 lives? Not looking good for Mario Man. Okay. Take it easy. And then wait for it. Go! Someone out there is looking at the Twitch directory and saying, man, doesn't this guy understand the difference between Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros? Somewhere out there, someone is asking that question. Without knowing how wrong they are. Well, that assumes they read the title instead of just look at the picture. SMW bros. Come on. Yo! You know, now that I think about it, I wonder if the Mario 1 sprite I had would work in Mario for Lost Players. Why did I do that? It's like, oh yeah, the block is currently rotating. I should jump into the fire block. Right. Brave jump! There we go. Definitive ending. We defeated a Bowser. It doesn't matter which Bowser, just that we defeated a Bowser. But our princess is in another castle. Alright. Let's get this set up properly. Thank you for the GG. A much lesser GG than maybe expected. And to reset and load credits game mode. I guess we could do that. Let's see if this works. Mode 13 or something? Not mode 13. Not mode 13 at all. Maybe it was 1B. Not 1B. I think I don't remember which mode is which. Oh god. Alright, well, cancel. Try to at least get that working. It's been a while. Someone actually knows what the mode is, because I don't recall off the top of my head. I'm going to look it up. I knew this when I was testing stuff, and it reminds me I probably should go and do more testing of this. It's been a while. Load. No, not looking for the address. PCRE, regular expressions. Game mode. 1C, thank you. 1B was not a good choice. There we go. Now I can set the raid while we're running this. Though we've lost the music, of course, because sometimes mode does that. Oh wait, no, there's no music for this part, because it's Yoshi's. You have to appreciate all of the Yoshi's hatching. No, I guess maybe we just don't get music. Anyway. As long as it doesn't crash. And these are all the people who were here last time and this time, because I wasn't planning on doing this, and I still don't have this rigged up properly. So, there's Max with Leonardo's living. Hooded Edge, Mixter, Friday Donuts. Cool people. I'm going to set up the raid now. To get us more than enough time to also watch an ad, which I didn't do. Curses. Gonna miss some names. Space Glam, Desert. Later, Max. Thank you all for watching. It's always fun to show off some chat hacky stuff. It's also really nice to have beaten the rest of Sickos. So, I'll be back soon enough. Hopefully on Saturday, depending upon Squiggles' illness or lack thereof. We'll see how many end knuckles we can stack up. But till then, have a good rest of your day, good sleep, good whatever. I probably should have actually procced this up differently. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. I'm going to push the button now.